Have you ever poured everything into someone, your time, energy, and heart, only to be met with apathy? You put her first, neglected your own needs, yet faced coldness or rejection. It hurts, doesn't it? That sensation of being overlooked, as if your efforts were meaningless. Society tells men to toughen up, suppress their feelings, and move on. Yet rejection lingers, eroding confidence and igniting self-doubt. Was I not sufficient? Did I err? These questions can spiral, prompting many to pursue, sending texts, making calls, hoping to rekindle what's already gone. But pursuing only weakens you. It relinquishes your power, tying your self-worth to someone else's approval. The answer? Silence. Not as an act of revenge, but as a form of discipline, control, and strength. When you stop pursuing, the dynamic changes. She takes notice, your absence is felt, the balance shifts. Today we'll delve into why silence is a man's strongest strategy and how it can transform both you and the situation. Are you ready to reclaim your power? Let's get started. When you opt for silence, you might anticipate an immediate response, thinking your absence will disrupt her life. However, the truth is quite different. Initially, she may not react at all. Rather than feeling a sense of loss, she could perceive it as a relief, an opportunity to enjoy the space she believed she needed. Why is that? Because you have always been a constant presence. Your attention, efforts, and reliability have been unwavering. She likely assumes you will come back, viewing this as a temporary situation rather than a significant change. She might even feel reassured, convinced that letting you go was the right choice. To cope, she distracts herself, hanging out with friends, posting on social media, engaging in superficial conversations, giving the impression of being happy and even flourishing. But don't be fooled. This is merely the calm before the storm. This phase is where many men struggle. Witnessing her indifference can feel like a harsh blow, intensifying the desire to break the silence. That's where many go wrong, allowing emotions to take over and seeking validation that won't come. Avoid that pitfall. Silence isn't about her response. It's about regaining your strength. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of managing what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. Her indifference is outside your reach, but how you respond is entirely up to you. This is your opportunity to turn your focus inward. Rather than dwelling on her lack of response, redirect that energy towards self-improvement. Hit the gym, learn a new skill, or reconnect with loved ones. Strengthen your self-worth without relying on her approval. Initially, she may feel secure in her choice, but beneath the surface, doubts are beginning to emerge. She may not realize it yet, but the reality of your absence is starting to take hold. What once felt like freedom is beginning to lose its charm. Your silence, initially overlooked, is starting to resonate. She is living the life she believed she wanted, yet that space is beginning to feel more hollow than anticipated. Your mission is clear. Remain silent, stay disciplined, and prioritize yourself. This period is not about her, it's about your growth. A man who does not chase, plead, or beg earns respect. If you remain steadfast, the dynamics will shift in ways you may not yet comprehend. Her indifference marks not the end, but a new beginning. Your silence is not a void, it's a statement. I recognize my value, and I refuse to accept anything less. Stand firm. The journey is far from over, and the true significance of your silence is yet to unfold. At first, she may appear unaffected, continuing as if your absence is inconsequential. However, over time, subtle changes occur, not loud or obvious, but quietly. The initial signs of emptiness begin to emerge, starting with the tiniest details. She no longer sees your name light up her phone in the morning. The calls that once brought her joy now echo faintly in her memory. The thoughtful gestures she used to overlook now seem strange. Initially, she brushes it off, believing you will reach out soon. Yet a quiet voice inside her wonders, what if he doesn't? This is the weight of silence. It neither pleads nor confronts. It simply remains, steady and unwavering, growing like an unavoidable shadow. The space you once occupied, which she thought would be temporarily vacant, is starting to feel like a permanent absence. In that permanence, the first signs of distress emerge. She becomes aware of the emptiness, not in significant moments, but in the little ones. She instinctively reaches for her phone, only to remember there's no message from you. A song plays, bringing back memories she thought she had moved past. She walks by a familiar spot and, for the first time, feels the heaviness of what's lacking. These aren't fleeting thoughts. They are the beginnings of understanding. Yet, she refuses to acknowledge it, not to herself nor to anyone else. On the surface, she continues as usual, sharing photos, keeping busy, surrounding herself with friends. But beneath it all, a subtle unease grows. No matter what she does, something feels amiss. And she can't pinpoint why. For you, this is the true challenge. The urge to reach out, sensing her change, will be strong. But your strength lies in your steadiness. If you give in now, you risk undoing everything. This is the moment to remain resolute and trust the journey. Stoicism teaches that discomfort should not be avoided, but embraced, because through discomfort, growth happens. Right now, both of you are experiencing the strain of silence in your own ways. For her, it's the dawning realization that life without you isn't as satisfying as she thought. For you, it's the struggle to resist the need for reassurance. Yet within this discomfort, transformation begins for both of you. As time progresses, the sense of emptiness becomes increasingly clear. She might attempt to mask it with social outings, superficial chats, and brief encounters, but nothing can truly replace what's missing. Your absence is beyond what distractions can fill. It runs deeper than she anticipated, and the more she tries to push it aside, the more it intensifies. This is a test of your resolve. Your attention should be directed towards yourself, your goals, your development, your purpose. It's not about waiting for her to recognize her loss. It's about demonstrating to yourself that you can thrive without her approval. Each day you maintain your silence is another step toward your own future. The initial signs of her insecurity may appear minor, yet they hold significant weight. They indicate a realization. She didn't merely lose someone who cared, she lost someone irreplaceable. As these signs grow, the effect of your silence amplifies. Remain patient and steadfast. The emptiness she experiences now serves as the basis for a lesson she never anticipated. Over time, your silence transforms from a mere absence in her life to an inescapable reality. What once felt liberating now bears an uncomfortable burden. The subtle indicators of emptiness develop into a constant unease, infiltrating her quiet moments. Initially, she dismisses it, believing you will come back. But deep down, her confidence begins to falter. Your silence evolves from just being a void. It becomes a reflection, compelling her to face the truth she wished to evade. This unease is most evident in moments of stillness, when she scrolls through her phone and feels your absence, or when she's among others yet senses something lacking. These realizations don't come all at once. They accumulate gradually, like water droplets filling a glass. With each passing day, that glass edges closer to overflowing. No matter how many distractions she surrounds herself with, social events, work, fleeting connections, the void remains. These are nothing more than temporary patches, incapable of covering the deeper wound left by your absence. The stability, care, and attention you once provided are gone, and no replacement seems sufficient. If she was new in your life, the realization hits even harder. She may have believed moving on would be effortless, that distancing herself was the right choice. But now, each shallow interaction only magnifies what she lost. She compares others to you, not just in trivial ways, but in ways that cut deeper than she anticipated. And rarely do they measure up. If she was in your life longer, the weight is even greater. She assumed your presence was guaranteed, that no matter how far she pulled away, you would always remain. Now, as silence stretches on, she sees the mistake. What once felt like freedom now feels hollow. Life feels heavier, colder, lonelier. What she once dismissed as an insignificant absence has become impossible to ignore. But for you, this moment is both a test and an opportunity. The discomfort she experiences is not something you created. It is simply the natural consequence of the boundaries you've established. This is not about punishment. It is about reclaiming your time, energy, and self-worth. While she wrestles with growing unease, you focus on what truly matters: your own growth. Stoicism teaches that discomfort is not to be feared but embraced, for it forces us to confront our vulnerabilities and rise beyond them. Right now, her discomfort is forcing her to recognize the value of what she lost, while your discipline is shaping you into a stronger, more self-assured man. This is the moment where the urge to reach out will be strongest, to check in, to see how she's doing, to remind her of your presence. But giving in would destroy everything you've built. Your silence is not just affecting her, it is transforming you. It is teaching patience, restraint, and the power of letting go. And as time passes, her discomfort will only grow. She will think of you more, wondering what you are doing, questioning whether you have moved on. The possibility that she has lost you for good will start to feel real, and that thought alone will be impossible to ignore. For you, this is proof of your evolution. The man who once chased, pleaded, or sought reassurance no longer exists. You have become someone who values himself enough to walk away from situations where he is not respected. And that transformation is what makes your silence so powerful. The unease she feels now is only the beginning. Her first true realization of what she let go of, undeniable proof of your impact. Stay strong, stay disciplined, trust the process. Her discomfort is not just a consequence of her choices, it is a reflection of your growth. As time passes, the void you left becomes something she can no longer push aside. What started as mild discomfort turns into a lingering ache, gnawing at her in ways she never expected. She feels the emptiness and instinctively tries to fill it. But here is where the real struggle begins. What she is searching for cannot be easily replaced. She turns to distractions, nights out, new hobbies, endless scrolling, anything to occupy her mind. For a moment they work, offering temporary escape from the silence. But distractions can only do so much. The void remains, waiting for the moments of stillness when she's left alone with her thoughts. She turns to new connections, dating, casual conversations, even revisiting an old flame, in an attempt to fill the void. On the surface, it appears she is moving forward, but beneath it all, these efforts fall short. Why? Because she is not simply searching for another person. She is searching for the depth, stability, and authenticity you provided, and those qualities are not easily replaced. At first, new faces seem intriguing, even refreshing. But over time, the comparisons begin. She notices the subtle differences, the lack of understanding, the absence of the small details you never overlooked, the emptiness in conversations that once carried weight. These realizations do not strike all at once. They build gradually, creating an unshakable frustration. If she was only briefly in your life, this realization is jarring. She assumed you were replaceable, that any man could step in without a second thought. But now, she understands what you offered was not ordinary. It was rare. Every failed attempt to replicate it only deepens the weight of her loss. If she had been in your life longer, the frustration cuts even deeper. She once believed she could explore other options while keeping you as a safety net, but as the silence continues, she is forced to confront reality. You are no longer waiting. Those fleeting connections lack the loyalty, emotional depth, and unspoken understanding you provided. At this stage, internal conflict sets in. Doubt creeps in. Was I too quick to walk away? Did I misjudge him? These questions grow heavier with each failed attempt to replace what she lost. While she struggles with regret, you continue evolving, growing stronger, more confident, more self-assured. This is a turning point. It is easy to wonder if someone else has taken your place, if she has moved on without a second thought. But remember, what you brought into her life was not interchangeable. It was not something just anyone could provide. And the longer the silence holds, the clearer that realization becomes, not just for her, but for you. Stoicism teaches that our focus should remain on what we can control, our growth and mindset. Let go of comparisons. Redirect your energy toward becoming the man you have always aspired to be. As her frustration builds, so does her awareness of what she lost. She sees that the people she meets do not measure up. They lack depth, security, and understanding. With every failed attempt to replace you, the void you left grows larger, more noticeable, more permanent. For her, this stage is humbling. An acknowledgement that not all connections are equal, that what she had with you was not ordinary or easily replaced. For you, this is empowerment. Your silence, discipline, and commitment to self-improvement have not only shown her, but more importantly, proven to you that you are not just another option. You are a man of value, someone who commands respect and leaves a lasting impact. As this phase nears its end, her frustration transforms into something deeper, regret. But for you, this is victory. You remained true to yourself, resisted the impulse to chase, and proved that your worth is not tied to external validation. Keep moving forward. The best is yet to come. Regret is slow and creeping. It does not strike suddenly but builds, fueled by the realization of what was lost. By now, she has felt the discomfort of your absence, the frustration of trying to replace you, and now she faces an undeniable truth. She made a mistake. At first, regret surfaces in quiet moments. She remembers how you made her feel, seen, valued, understood. She replays the memories, the small acts of kindness, the inside jokes, the way you anticipated her needs like no one else has. And with each passing thought, the weight of her decision becomes harder to ignore. Each memory acts as a thread, weaving together an undeniable picture of what she had and lost. And with each passing day, that image grows heavier. She may not admit it, not to herself, not to anyone else, but the regret lingers. It shows in the hesitation before she types a message, questioning if you would even respond. It's in the way she scrolls through old photos, rereads past conversations, searching for traces of a connection she once dismissed. These actions seem minor, but they expose a much deeper realization. She let go of something rare, something valuable, and she may never find it again. If she was only briefly in your life, this stage humbles her. She believed moving on would be easy, that leaving was just another choice. But now she sees the truth. What she lost wasn't just a fleeting connection. It was something meaningful, something that provided stability and depth, something not easily replaced. If she had been in your life longer, the regret cuts deeper. She assumed she understood your value, that no matter how distant she became, you would always be there. But as the silence stretches, she realizes she was wrong. The life she thought would feel whole without you now carries a quiet, persistent emptiness, a void that serves as a constant reminder of the mistake she made. For you, this stage is proof of your transformation. The regret she feels is not something you created. It is the natural result of her own choices. You did not beg, plead, or chase. Instead, you chose discipline, self-respect, and growth. And now, while she wrestles with the weight of her decision, you stand stronger than ever, unshaken, focused, and fully committed to your own evolution. Stoicism teaches that we must release what we cannot control, and her regret is not your burden to ease, nor your responsibility to fix. That weight belongs to her alone. As regret deepens, she may feel compelled to reach out, a casual message to test the waters, a nostalgic reference, or even a direct apology. No matter how she expresses it, the meaning remains the same. She knows what she lost. But here is the key. Her regret was never the purpose of your silence. It is merely a byproduct. The true goal was always reclaiming your power, confidence, and self-respect. This is where many men falter. The moment she acknowledges her mistake, the temptation to return is strong. Recognition feels validating. But remember, this was never about her approval. It was about the discipline you built, the boundaries you enforced, and the strength you cultivated in her absence. If you choose to engage, do so only on your terms, not hers. For her, regret is a powerful teacher, forcing her to confront the consequences of her choices. For you, it is a reminder of your growth. The man who once chased, begged, or sought validation no longer exists. In his place stands someone who understands his worth, who does not accept less than he deserves. As this stage nears its end, her regret peaks. She wonders if she has lost you for good, if she will ever find someone like you again. What once felt like a temporary absence now feels like a permanent void. And for you, this is a moment of clarity, a realization of how far you have come. You did not just endure this process, you transformed through it. Her regret may be inevitable, but for you, it is simply a stepping stone. It proves that your silence was not weakness, but strength. It was not just powerful, it was transformative. So stand firm, hold your ground, and recognize the truth. You have already won. Because this was never about her. It was about you, about rediscovering your resilience, reclaiming your self-worth, and proving to yourself that you never needed anyone's validation to be whole. Your silence was never a weapon or a tactic. It was a statement of self-respect. It was your way of saying, I know my worth, and I will not accept anything less. This wasn't about proving something to her. It was about proving to yourself that you are not an afterthought. You are the standard. The space you created wasn't empty. It was filled with growth, strength, and transformation. While she struggled with uncertainty, frustration, or regret, you were forging a stronger, more disciplined version of yourself. Stoicism teaches that control lies only in your own thoughts, actions, and growth. Everything else, her emotions, her choices, her regrets, does not belong to you, nor should it. By letting go of the need for control or validation, you freed yourself from the weight of her approval and uncovered a strength that was always within you. So, what comes next? You move forward. Whether she reaches out or remains distant, whether she regrets or doesn't, it does not define you. The man you have become through this process is proof that your worth is not dictated by another's recognition. You have reclaimed your power, and that is a victory no one can take from you. This is your path now. It is no longer about chasing someone who failed to see your value. It is about becoming the kind of man who does not need to chase at all. You have endured. You have grown, and you have emerged stronger. And as you continue walking forward, remember this. Your silence was never just an absence. It was the most powerful statement you could ever make.